Hi, welcome to the Work Design course. My name is Jorge Gonzalez, and today we'll be reviewing the next topic, work study and productivity. Let's start with the definition of work study. Uh, Work study is the systematic review of methods of carrying out activities to improve the efficient use of resources and establish performance standards with respect to activities that are being carried out. To better understand this definition, let's see the next diagram. So work study uses methods study and work measurement to improve productivity, to get a higher productivity. Understanding productivity as the relation between the amount of product or service produced and the amount of resources used to make that production or service able to happen. In methods study, we study processes. And if we think a little bit about it, everything in life is a process. In the process approach, we see that everything we do is a process, and it's always part of a bigger process. Process improvement focus on processes rather than people, functions, or parts. And when there is a system failure where something goes wrong, we need to analyze the process. There is a common error that if something is wrong in a process, we tend to blame the people. And we go to the people and we tell them, you're wrong, you're not doing this in the right manner. But what we need to analyze is the process and then communicate to the people how we're going to do things. And we need to relate with them, not just impose our opinion. We need to learn about the process by interviewing those who work in it. Okay, so we need to also understand that in a process there is always inputs. Maybe some of those inputs are the providers that get us resources. Then we transformate those resources in a process where we need to add value. We need to make it different from what it is. If it's raw material, then it's process material, and so on until we get to the final product. And that final product are the outputs that goes to the client, and we need the service process to improve our way of working every day. One important process is the analysis of the value chain. If every process needs to add value, we need to analyze that value chain. I excuse myself for having this diagram on Spanish, but let me analyze it a little bit. In the value chain analysis, we have some primal activities, just as in logistics, operations, out logistics, sales and marketing, and also service. And there are some activities that give support to the primary activities. And those are the infrastructure of the company, the management of human resources, the development of technology, and the buying part of the process when we acquire those raw materials, those technologies needed to support the operations part of the value chain. Speaking of a study of working methods, we are going to start by the documentation of process. And there are some stages that we must cover to better understand how we can do this better. First of all, we need to establish the goal. That is what the process seeks to achieve. It's very important not to document anything if we don't have the goal right, if we don't know what the process seeks to achieve. Then we need to describe the process. This is an explanation of it, where we identify the order and the level of intervention of the areas or departments during the execution of it. Who participates in the process and at what level do they participate? Are they responsible or just actors of the process? Then we need to diagram it. We need a visual representation, a graphical representation of the process. And then it's not also a graph, but a sequence that represents the process. Then we have the key performance indicators, or the uh, development indicators that measure the satisfaction of the client. The client can be an internal client, where it's part of the company, part of the whole process of the value chain, or can be external, the one that buys our products. Finally, we need to identify the policies of each process. And the policies are the rules that the process must follow so we can accomplish our goal. So first, we need to establish our goal, then describe the process, identify all the areas that participate and the level of responsibility of each area or department, the diagram where we represent the flow of the process, the sequence, the indicators that are going to tell us if the process is doing good enough or not, and the policies or rules that we must follow to accomplish such goal. When we speak of diagrams, and this is part of the next video, uh, we have two main groups of diagrams. We use diagrams to document activities or analyze problems, such as the Pareto, the fish diagram, the Gantt, and the diagram. These mostly are used on control of quality, and we are going to focus on the process, the diagrams on the right part of the slide: the flow chart, the process diagram, the process flow diagram, the stroke or path diagram, the man machine and group process diagrams, and the bimanual diagram. Those are the kind of diagrams that we are going to review in this course. Speaking of a flow chart, there's a set of symbols, of icons that we use to represent the flow of the activities. The first symbol that we have here, that it's kind of a circle, it's for operations, and it indicates the main phases of the process, methods or procedures. Typically, the part, material, or product is modified or changed during the operation. When we document the process, we mostly have operations that are going to be represented by this symbol right here. There are also inspections where we inspect or we represent the inspection of quality of quantity. There is also this arrow that represents transports. That can be movement of workers, material, equipment from one place to another. It is used whenever materials are handled to put or to remove them from trucks, banks, warehouses, etc. When we move material through the process, or from the warehouse to the main production area, or from the main production area to the final product warehouse, we use a lot of these symbols. There is also the delay symbol that indicates, of course, a delay in the developments of the facts of the operations. Work on hold between uh, two successive operations, or momentary unrecorded abandonment of any target until needed. So anytime that we have a measured delay that needs to be done in the process in order for the inflow material to achieve some condition, or needs to wait before the next process because the next machine is always occupied because it's our bottleneck in the process, we need to represent those delays. For example, in a simple process, just as baking a cake, there is if we are mixing the the eggs in the uh, excuse me, when we are mixing the eggs, the milk, the flour, uh, we need to leave that in between product to rest, because we need the product to expand, then to be able to put it in the oven and have a cake. So there's a delay. There is also a permanent storage, and it's represented by this downside triangle, and it's where we deposit. It's the deposit of an object under surveillance in a warehouse where it is received or delivered through, or for the authorization, or where it is kept to for reference purposes. Then those reference purposes can be the wedding of a big sale, and we need to give this product to our client. And there is also the combined activities icon, and this is when several activities are executed at the same time. Mostly, we identify operations and inspection, something when we are operating, and at the same time we are inspecting the work that we are doing. Okay, and that's it for the first video. I hope you find it useful for your course, or if you are viewing it as a new subscriber, just for your general knowledge. So thank you very much, and we are going to leave this video right here.